This woman named Anna left her 3-year-old son home alone with her neighbor's dog to go out and party with her friends. But what she saw when she came back from the party was so devastating. Here's what happened. Once upon a time, in a small African town, there was a beautiful woman named Anna. Anna was as beautiful as the morning sun. People loved her because of her beauty and her lively spirit. She had a way of making everyone laugh, and no one could resist her charm. Anna had been married 3 times before, but she never had a child. She always dreamed of having a big family, but somehow that never happened. Anna loved to go to parties. Oh yes, Anna was always the life of any gathering. Whether it was a family gathering, a town meeting, or a big celebration, she couldn't resist the fun, the laughter, and the chance to show off her beauty. She had many friends, and among them were 2 special ones. These were her best friends, the ones who always gave her advice, and Anna trusted them. They told her to never stop living her life and to enjoy herself no matter what. Her first husband, however, was not so happy with Anna's ways. He didn't like how she spent so much time with her friends and went to so many parties. He was a quiet man who liked peace, but Anna loved excitement. She would invite her friends over to gossip and laugh, and this made her husband very angry. Anna, you need to slow down and focus on us, he would tell her. But Anna didn't listen. She enjoyed being surrounded by her friends more than anything else. This went on for a while, but soon her first husband had had enough. He told Anna, if you keep on like this, we will not last. But Anna didn't want to change, and so her first marriage ended. She didn't shed a tear because she was sure that she would find another man. After all, she was still young, beautiful, and everyone in town loved her. Not long after, Anna got married again, but just like before, Anna never listened to her husband's complaints about her partying. She was always busy with her friends, laughing, talking, and planning their next big party. One day, Anna was in the kitchen preparing rice porridge. The pot was on the fire, the smell of spices filling the air. But before the rice could even soften, her friends arrived, their laughter breaking through the walls like a sudden storm. Anna, come and hear what happened to Mama Lucy at the market, one of them shouted. Without a second thought, Anna wiped her hands on her wrapper and rushed outside. They sat under the big neem tree, giggling and whispering like birds in the early morning. They talked and laughed until the sun began to set. Anna got so caught up with the gossip and the excitement that she forgot all about the food on the fire. Her friends were in her house, talking and laughing, and Anna didn't notice the smoke that started rising from the kitchen. By the time Anna remembered, the smoke was thick, and the fire had already started to spread. The flames danced high in the air, and Anna rushed to put it out, but it was too late. The whole kitchen was burning, and soon the fire spread to the rest of the house. Anna's husband came rushing home, his face turning pale when he saw the fire. He was so angry, his voice trembling as he shouted, "Look at what you've done, Anna. You were too busy with your friends to care about our home. The fire burned everything. It took away the things they had worked so hard for, and it left Anna's husband with nothing but disappointment and rage." Anna felt terrible, but she didn't know how to fix it. Her husband, feeling hopeless, turned to her and said, "I can't live like this anymore. Pack your things and leave." Anna didn't say a word. She knew he was right, but she didn't want to lose him. Her husband couldn't forgive her, and with a heavy heart, he sent her away. Anna's heart sank. She ran to her friends for advice. Beg him for what? One of them said, rolling her eyes. If he can't understand that mistakes happen, then he's not the man for you. You're beautiful, Anna. There are many rich men out there who would be lucky to have you. With her friend's words ringing in her ears, Anna packed what was left of her belongings and left without looking back. Anna went back to her parents' house, but instead of learning her lesson, she kept doing what she always did. Her parents were worried. Anna, they said, you need to stop listening to those friends of yours. They are leading you down the wrong path. They are ruining your life. But Anna only laughed, her smile as sweet as ripe pawpaw. Papa, you don't understand. This is how life works now. Nobody stays indoors and becomes somebody, she would say, brushing them off like dust from her fine wrappers. She believed her friends knew better, and she refused to change. So Anna stayed the same, and once again her life took another turn. This time, it would be the second divorce. Anna didn't take long to find another husband. She soon remarried for the third time. At first, everything seemed fine. Her new husband was kind and hard-working. They had their moments of joy, and Anna tried to be a good wife, but her love for parties and gossip never went away. She would sneak out at night to join her friends, leaving her husband alone at home. Anna always believed that she had the right to have fun, no matter what. Her new husband started noticing the same problem. Every time he came home after a long day at work, Anna was either out partying or gossiping with her friends. He would ask her, Anna, why do you spend so much time with them? We're supposed to be building a life together. But Anna didn't care. She loved the fun, the laughter, and the excitement too much. Her husband would often sit quietly, feeling lonely and neglected. But Anna didn't see it. After some time, her husband couldn't take it anymore. He told her, "This isn't working, Anna. I need a wife who stays with me and doesn't run off every chance she gets." And so, just like her first two husbands, he divorced her. Anna didn't cry or beg. She didn't feel as bad as she thought she would because after all she didn't have any children to lose. She wasn't losing anything. With nowhere else to go, Anna moved in with one of her friends, a single mother who also didn't have a husband. Her friend gave her bad advice, telling her, "You'll be fine, Anna. There are plenty of men in the world. Don't worry about what your family says." Anna thought her friend knew what she was talking about, so she kept following the same old ways. She married again and again, but no children ever came. Divorce after divorce, Anna found herself in the same place. No family, no children, and no real happiness. Yet Anna kept going, never learning from her mistakes, always blaming her marriages for not working out. One day, as she was sitting by the window at her friend's house, Anna noticed an old couple walking hand in hand down the street. They looked happy, content with their simple life. A small pang of sadness hit her heart. She wondered if she would ever find that kind of happiness, but she quickly shook the thought away, dismissing it as unrealistic for someone like her. Anna never gave up on her dream of having a good life. She was always looking for the next big chance, the next rich man who could change her life. One day, at a grand party in the town, Anna met a man named Tony. Tony was a handsome, wealthy man, known for his riches and kindness. He had never been married, and at 40, he was starting to think it was time. When he saw Anna, he was immediately drawn to her beauty and charm. Anna, always ready for a chance to live a better life, smiled at Tony, and they quickly became friends. Anna, being the social butterfly she was, knew how to win anyone over. Tony liked Anna's warmth and laughter, and before long, they were spending more and more time together. He was different from the men she had married before. He didn't mind her socializing, but he had one rule: no parties, no friends visiting the house. Anna agreed, thinking it was a small price to pay for the life she had always dreamed of. Tony and Anna got married soon after. Anna felt like this was the beginning of something truly special. She moved into his large, beautiful house, and though she missed her parties and friends, she promised herself she would make this marriage work. Soon, Anna was pregnant with Tony's child. After 10 long years of waiting, she was finally going to be a mother. The day came when Anna gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. The whole town celebrated with her. Anna was overjoyed, holding her son close to her chest. Finally, after all the failed marriages and disappointments, she had what she had always wanted: her own child. She looked at her baby and thought to herself, "This is the life I've always dreamed of." But little did she know, her love for parties and her past would soon come back to challenge her new life. Anna's friends, who had always been a big part of her life, couldn't stand to see her settle down. They were used to her wild ways, parties, gossip, and endless fun. Now that she was married to the richest man in the town, they didn't want her to stop living the life they had always known. Months passed, and Anna seemed to have found her rhythm. Her days were filled with laughter from her baby boy, and Tony's love made their home as warm as a sunny day. But just as rivers don't stay still, Anna's restless spirit began to stir again. One afternoon, her friends came to visit. They arrived with their usual energy, their voices like a whirlwind. "Anna, have you heard?" one of them asked, her eyes wide with excitement. "Heard what?" Anna asked, bouncing her baby on her lap. "The biggest party of the year is happening next week," another friend exclaimed. Another friend exclaimed, "Everyone who's anyone will be there. You can't miss it." Anna shook her head. "I've left that life behind. My place is here with my baby and my husband." But her friends wouldn't take no for an answer. They leaned closer, their words dripping with temptation. "Anna, you're the wife of the richest man in the village. What's the harm in going to one party just this once? For old time's sake, after all, you can't let people forget who you are." Anna's heart wavered. She remembered the cheers, the attention, the way people admired her at parties. But she also thought of Tony's strict rules and her little boy's tiny hands clutching her fingers. "I don't know," she said quietly. "Tony will never allow it." "Don't worry about Tony," one friend said, waving her hand as if brushing away a fly. "We'll help you sneak out. He won't even know you were gone." "But what about my baby?" Anna asked, glancing at her son, who was now asleep in her arms. "You'll only be gone for a few hours," they said. "The neighbor's dog can watch him. It's harmless." Anna's mind was like a stormy sea, torn between the life she was trying to build and the thrill her friends promised. "This will be the last time," she whispered to herself. "Just one party, and then I'll stop." Her friends smiled, knowing they had won. They left with a plan in place. On the night of the party, Anna would slip out while Tony was away, leaving her baby behind. "It'll be perfect," they said, but they didn't know the storm they were setting into motion. The day of the party arrived, and Anna's heart raced like a drumbeat. She had dressed simply, not wanting to draw suspicion, but her mind was full of excitement. She waited until Tony left the house, his footsteps fading like a distant echo. Her friends were already waiting nearby, their eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Let's go," one of them urged, but Anna hesitated, looking back at her little boy, who was playing with his tiny fingers on the floor. "I can't leave him alone," Anna said, her voice trembling. One friend quickly chimed in. "Don't worry. The neighbor's dog is there, and it loves him. Just leave him with the dog. You'll be back before anyone notices." Anna frowned. It didn't feel right, but the thought of missing the party tugged at her heart. "He'll be fine," another friend said, smiling. "Dogs are loyal. It'll protect him." After a moment of hesitation, Anna nodded, her resolve breaking. She kissed her son on the forehead and whispered, "I'll be back soon." The little boy giggled, his innocence a sharp contrast to the decision his mother had just made. Quietly, Anna slipped out of the house and joined her friends. They moved quickly, their laughter trailing behind them like whispers in the wind. Anna's baby was left alone, the neighbor's dog lying nearby, its sharp eyes scanning the empty room. The party was everything Anna had missed and more. The music was loud, the food delicious, and the drinks flowed like a river. Anna danced as if the world belonged to her, her friends cheering her on. She laughed until her sides ached and drank until her thoughts blurred. For the first time in months, she felt like the Anna she used to be. Hours passed, but Anna didn't notice. Each song seemed better than the last, and each drink sweeter than the one before. Her friends teased her. "You're still the queen of the dance floor." But while Anna was lost in the fun of the party, her baby boy was having a very different experience at home. The dog, left alone with the baby, began to grow restless. The dog, usually calm, started acting strangely. It had been a long day, and the baby, confused and alone, began to cry. The dog, feeling threatened or confused by the baby's cries, became aggressive. The dog snapped, biting the little boy. It was a painful bite, and the baby screamed in terror, but there was no one there to help. The baby boy, unable to defend himself, suffered alone. The dog kept its watch, not knowing how to comfort the child. It bit the baby a few more times, thinking he'd keep quiet, but the baby's cries went unheard. Time passed slowly, with lots of blood in its mouth. The dog didn't stop until the boy stopped crying, stopped moving, and eventually fell to the ground, unconscious. Anna, lost in the music and cheers at the party, had no idea of the tragedy unfolding at home. She danced, laughed, and drank, the memory of her baby's giggles slipping further and further and further away with each passing hour. After the party, the night had grown quiet. Anna was feeling happy, her heart light with the joy of the evening. She couldn't wait to get home and see her baby boy. The music still echoed in her mind as she walked through the door, expecting everything to be just as she had left it. But as she neared her house, something didn't feel right. She noticed neighbors gathered outside, talking in hushed voices, their faces filled with concern. Her heart skipped a beat, a cold feeling creeping over her. She rushed through the crowd, pushing past people until she reached the doorway. What she saw froze her in place. There on the floor lay her 3-year-old son, lifeless, his tiny body covered in scratches. The neighbor's dog, blood dripping from its mouth, was being held tightly by its owner. Tony was standing in the middle of the room, his face dark with fury. "Where were you, Anna?" he roared, his voice cutting through the silence like a sharp blade. Anna couldn't speak. She fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "It was just for a few hours," she whispered. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Tony's slap came like lightning, stinging her cheek and sending her sprawling to the ground. "You left our child for a party. A party." His voice was filled with rage. His voice was filled with rage, his hands trembling as he pointed at her. "You don't deserve to be a mother." The neighbors murmured, some shaking their heads, others wiping away tears. How could she do this? One woman whispered, "How could a mother leave her baby like this?" Without another word, Tony called the police. When they arrived, they placed cold handcuffs on Anna's wrists. Her cries filled the night as they led her away. "I didn't mean it," she screamed. "I didn't mean for this to happen." But the damage was done, and the silence of her child was louder than her pleas. Anna spent her days in a cold jail cell, staring at the walls that seemed to close in on her. No one came to visit her, not a single friend. The same women who had laughed and danced with her at the party had fled the town, too scared to face Tony's wrath. Anna was alone, left to drown in her guilt. When she was finally released, the world outside felt different. The sun didn't seem as bright, and the wind carried whispers of her shame. Tony met her at the gates, his expression hard as stone. "We're done," he said simply. "You've taken everything from me. Leave and never come back." He handed her a small bag of her belongings and walked away without looking back. Anna stood there, broken and empty, her tears soaking the dust beneath her feet. With nowhere else to go, Anna returned to her parents' house. They opened the door without hesitation, their eyes filled with sadness, but no anger. "We warned you," her father said softly, "but you never listened." Anna dropped to her knees, clutching her mother's wrapper like a child seeking comfort. "I was wrong," she sobbed. "I let my friends ruin me." Her parents took her in, but the house felt like a tomb. Every corner reminded her of her mistakes. Every silence echoed with the sound of her son's cries. Anna spent the rest of her days in regret, mourning the life she had destroyed with her carelessness. Her beauty faded with time, and so did the memory of the woman who once ruled the parties. The villagers spoke of her as a cautionary tale, a reminder that bad company can lead even the brightest star into darkness. Anna was left with nothing but the weight of her choices, a burden she carried like a heavy load until the end of her days.